All right, then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new live stream. Now, I've been away for around 48 hours, 2 days. Bad things happened. Bad things really happened. Thieves broke into our house and they literally stole everything, my computer, my mixer, things like that. But I'm back and live and kicking. So welcome back to the channel. Make sure you drop me some love in the comment section and also hit the like button. Our like target is always 200 likes. So make sure we get this video to 200 likes. Massively appreciated. So I'm back, and it really feels very, very good to be back. We have a couple of stories run through today on this live stream. We'll talk about Arsenal completing the signing of Marquinos. Marquinos is in London at the London Colony. His medical is expected to be done today, and everything has been finalized. That deal has also got a seal of approval from Fabrizio Romano. Done deal. That is Marquinos joining Arsenal. Then Arsenal this week also released their home kit. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Look, I told you, lads, I spoke about this. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and I said when I get the chance to see, when we get a chance to react to the new kit, I'll definitely do that. Now, this is how the new kit looks like when the players have actually put it on. So that you can see Emil Smith Rowe there. You can see Granit Xhaka as well in the new kit. You can see Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. I don't know what your thoughts are on this kit. I'm not really sure what your thoughts are on this kit. It's gonna be the home kit for Arsenal next season. I think it's, for me, it's quite a simple. It's quite a very, very simple kit as compared to the one that we've had this season. It's a very, very simple kit, because if you look at this one, look, I think what Adidas have done is they made this new kit a little bit, basic, a little bit simpler. It doesn't have so many colors. It's basically the white and the red, right? The words are white, then the body is red, then the arms are white, then the collar is white. It has some red, and then the Adidas stripes are red as well. So it's a very, very basic kit to me. Now, one thing I didn't agree with the kit, and I said this before when it was still a rumored kit, I said, what are these strips on the collar? I really didn't get to agree with them. At least not so much. I didn't really get to agree with them, not so much. But I think it's a good kit. It's an okay kit. But the collar for me, first and foremost, I do not like the collar. But the collar is fine, probably. But that pattern on the collar, for me, it doesn't do it. It literally doesn't do it. And that is what happens when that is what happens all the time when kit sponsors have to provide a sponsor. A kit. Kit makers have to provide a new kit every now and again. At times, for me, I feel they do a replica of what has been done. Other times, they do shit. Because honestly, this kit was fire. This kit was absolute fire. And if you tell me that the new kit that we're gonna be putting on is actually not as good as this, I don't get it. But look, regardless, remove that is gonna be our new kit. I'll give you another look. So that's gonna be our home kit. We are expected to use it in the game, in the final game of the season against Everton. Everton, who have actually already qualified, so we do not expect that one to be a very, very big problem. Of course, let me know what you think about this kit. Is it a kit? Look, is it a kit that you think can compete in terms of rankings with other kits? Because I've seen the Man United kit. It's also a collar. I don't know. It's also a collar, and it's not that fire. It's not really fire. I've not seen any of any confirmed kits for Arsenal, but that is the kit that has been officially confirmed by Arsenal, that that will be putting on that kit in the Europa League and also in the Premier League next season and in all our home games. So I hope you lads love the kit, because look, if I'm rating it out of 10, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's a kit that I'll rate so highly. Not bad. Not a bad kit, really. Not a bad kit, but probably 7.5 out of 10. Not a bad kid. Yeah, not a bad kid. Right, then let's get to the transfer news. And of course, the big news today is that Arsenal have officially completed. They have not yet announced, but we have completed the signing of Brazilian young winger. I reported this, and I reported that a fee had been agreed between Arsenal and Sao Paulo for the player that is Marquinos. For the player Marquinos, 3.5 million euros is the price that has been agreed. Now, a couple of stories have been flying around. When it comes to this story, and of course, a lot of transfer news is flying around, and I will really cover it, because I always cover everything Arsenal on this channel. But I think it's a story that has been really duplicated online. I didn't want to duplicate it just like other people have done, so I decided that I'll report only the important bits. Now, 2 days ago, Arsenal agreed a 3.5 million euro deal with Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo wanted more than that. They wanted up to 7-8 million euros, but they were in fear that they could lose the player on a free, and because the player is not willing to extend his contract. So they decided that he will be moving to Arsenal on a 3.5 million euro deal. Actually, one of the reasons why the deal and negotiations stalled was Sao Paulo wanted a future sell-on clause in the deal. They wanted something like 10%, that if Arsenal in the future decide to sell Marquinos, 10% should go back to the club. 10% should go back to Sao Paulo. And Arsenal were not agreeing to those terms. So it looks like it's going to be a plain agreement, a plain deal between Arsenal and Sao Paulo. So according to Charlie Watts today, my man, one of the journalists that actually earlier had covered this story, he's come out and said Arsenal are set to complete their first summer signing as they close in on a move for Marquinos. The 19-year-old flew into England on Thursday and visited the club's London Colony Training Centre to put finishing touches on the deal, and will undergo medical as well. Now, that is one of the journalists when it comes to Arsenal stuff, when it comes to Arsenal content. If I'm going to ask you to trust a journalist, Charlie Watts is one of them. He literally never speaks transfers without confirmation. He does do a couple of reactions on his YouTube channel, and I love his reactions because he's a biased journalist. He's an Arsenal lover, and one of the reasons why I really love him, because he gives me that feeling that he's a journalist who he's a journalist who wants the best for Arsenal. So he's reported that Arsenal are completing their first summer signing as we close in on a move for Marquinos. The 19-year-old is in England to do his medical and also put finishing touches on the deal as regards to moving to the Emirates Stadium. So Marquinos is going to be Arsenal's first signing. That is now there is no question about that. I know many of you are going to ask me about Gabriel Jesus. I'm going to talk about Gabriel Jesus in this live stream as well. But do me a favor, hit the like button for me. It massively helps out the channel and massively also helps out me as a content creator. I mean, when people type in Cossy and Cossy's Arsenal podcast, it can be recommended to them. So Marquinos comes in at Arsenal. Now, this is not a transfer like that many Arsenal fans are interested in. However, I want to also correct many Arsenal fans. This is not a signing for the B team. Of course, he can predominantly play with with the under 23s if he wants, or if they want them, if they want him. But he's not a signing for the B team. He's not an under 23 signing. He's very, very young. He's only 19, but he's viewed as probably one of the best talents, on the on the Brazilian front at the moment. So Arsenal hope to develop him. Arsenal hope to, bring the best out of him. We are looking at a player. Actually, I'm going to talk about Saka as well. So we are looking at a player who can give us what Saka gives us. We are also looking at a player who can give us what Gabriel Martinelli gives us in terms of pace, in terms of scoring goals, being sharp in front of goal, and also, his ability to, hold the width, width and length of the pitch, and just be that man on the flanks. I think one thing I'm gonna love about him, and one thing I've loved about him, I've looked at him, I've read his scout reports. I'm not as green about him as I were when we were reporting about him in the first place. One thing I love about him is that, he's one of those players that, at a very, very young age, he already has established himself as a winger. He's already established himself, and he knows what he wants to do, and he knows where he wants to play, and he knows how he wants to play. So there's not going to be any confusion when it comes to him, like playing him as a center forward, playing him as this and that. He is a winger. Actually, if you look at SofaScore, his SofaScore, and the positions he can actually play in, I'm going to show you that just in a minute. If you look at his SofaScore and the positions he can actually play in, you will be very, very surprised. Here we are. So this is his report on SofaScore. Don't worry, I'll do a scouting report about him. But this is it. Brazilian by nationality, 19 years of age, 175 centimeters. That is his height. Preferably plays with the left foot, and he plays as a forward, right? That is his position right here. These are the statistics I'm talking about here, right? Plays as a forward. But if you look at his sit map here, right? If you look at his sit map, you can see. And this is a season heat map where he's not really played a lot of games. He's not played so many games. So we are going to wait to judge him, because he's turning 20. And the reports are that if Arsenal bring him in, they will probably let him go on a loan somewhere, right? We'll probably let him go out on a loan somewhere. But I want to show you his heat map. Right there. So we'll have to stretch this a little bit. All right. So that is his heat map. Right, that is his heat map, and what it shows you there is that is a player who predominantly is playing with a left foot on the right hand side of the pitch. Typical Bukayo Saka. Typical Bukayo Saka, right? Because if you look at what Saka gives us, that is what exactly he does. Dropping deep at times just to help out the defense occasionally, but you can see that he's a player who loves holding his width, holding his holding the length of the pitch. So he can really help you very, very much in terms of what we want to do under Mikel Arteta, because with Mikel, he wants his wingers to be very high up the pitch. That is a non-negotiable. He wants his wingers to be high up the pitch. He wants Saka to be high. He wants Martinelli to be high. And then the only player who drops deep is your number 9. And that's why I think he really, really wants Gabriel Jesus. So Marquinos joining Arsenal. That is now in done deal. When the final details are completed, I will let you know. He's going to sign his contract until 2027. That is also confirmed. I don't think it's a deal with where we're going to be talking about money at the moment. It's not a deal where we talk about money. It's a deal where predominantly at the moment, what is important is the development of the player. And to anyone who thinks that this is a bad deal for Arsenal, I think it's a very, very good deal. I mean, we are not yet sure that the Cronkies are going to be spending lots and lots of money all the time. And even if they are, taking advantage of such very good deals, of such cheap deals, is very, very important in the market. Look. Dinos Mavropanos will be joining, has joined actually Stuttgart in Germany. And Arsenal is just going to get, some little money, but he's never really played for Arsenal. He didn't even get a chance. So I think with players like Marquinos, I'm not really saying he's never going to get a chance to play for Arsenal, don't get me wrong. But when they come in for 3.5 million euros and you develop them, for example, you send them out on loan 3 or 4 times, and they develop into probably good players or moderate players. You could sell him to a club like Seville, you could sell him to AC Milan, you could sell him to West Ham, you could sell him to any other club and make that kind of profit, which balances the books, because we also make a lot of losses in terms of signings. Now look at the Nicola Pepe loss. That is there already on the cards. Look at so many other losses that we have made, players that we brought in for very, very good money walking away for free. So Arsenal, for me, that is a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Like I said, I will be reporting everything you need to know about that deal if anything develops up. Now, in talking about developing and developments, Arsenal have opened initial stages for contract negotiations with Bukayo Saka. And I'm not going to be one of those people who are lying. I'm going to report what is happening in the media, what has been reported, and so that I give you a chance to react to it. Bukayo Saka, according to Fabrizio Romano, Bukayo Saka 100% wants to stay with Arsenal Football Club. There is no question about that. He wants to stay with the club, and he would be happy to extend his contract. However, there have been reliable reports, claiming that Bukayo Saka's camp would be very, very open to playing Champions League football next season. I'll say that again, and I'm going to be very, very calm when I say it. Reliable reports are reporting that Bukayo Saka's camp would be very open to the idea of playing Champions League football next season. According to Fabrizio Romano, who is the transfer guru in the world, he says the player is 100% committed to Arsenal and the Arsenal project. He has no doubts about him wanting to stay at the club. However, his camp are looking at possibilities. If there is a possibility of playing Champions League football, they might actually take it up. Now, that takes us back to what was reported in January by the Mirror. Now, the Mirror had reported earlier that Jurgen Klopp would actually be interested in signing Bukayo Saka. Liverpool would be interested in signing Bukayo Saka. And the reports went as deep as saying that Bukayo Saka's camp are actually, by that time it was not confirming and it was only excitement, but the camp people inside his camp would actually be excited about the option of playing in the UEFA Champions League. So, listen. With Bukayo Saka, I don't know why, but I feel my heart is at my heart is at rest. I feel he will stay with Arsenal. But again, it has this puts Arsenal in a very, very difficult situation right now, not going to the UEFA Champions League, and it brings back the memory of why going to the UEFA Champions League was not about ending the 6-year drought. It was not only about Arsenal getting back in the top 4 we've not been for a long time. Going to the UEFA Champions League meant that you can easily reassure players like Saka, players like Gabriel Martinelli to stay, right? Because because the advantage here is that if Saka stays at Arsenal and Arsenal have qualified for UEFA Champions League, you'll tell him that you're gonna be the star man at Arsenal and you'll play every game. You're not going to get that advantage, at Liverpool, where you have Mane, Salah, Diaz, Firmino, and Jota. You would also tell Gabriel Martinelli the same. And by the way, Gabriel Martinelli will be putting on shirt number 11 next season. I think it was coming. I thought it was coming. For me, he just needs to add more goals to his game, get more goals to his game, make sure that he gets more assists in. He's a very, very good controller of the ball. I actually think if Martinelli just realizes his potential, he's gonna be by far a better player than Bukayo Saka. That is my opinion. Don't get me wrong, but he's one of those players that I really love at Arsenal, especially when it comes to controlling the ball. He just gives you that kind of reassurance that no matter the height, he's gonna control that ball. So very, very good step overs, very, very good, quick feet, very, very good, ball control. What he needs to do for me is he needs to act a little bit quicker when he gets into the penalty area. Like, if you're going to take a shot, take it a little bit quicker and take it accurately as well. And also, if you're going to, if you have options of laying it, I think that's what Mikel needs to work on him. If he has options of laying the ball, probably to find Saka or Nketiah or Smith or Odegaard, then lay it. If you can work on that decision making and accuracy on shots, I mean, you need to be accurate with the shots. I think he's a very, very great player. So we'll be putting on shot number 11. But my point here, lads, is that Saka and Martinelli will want to stay at Arsenal, but they would even be easier to convince if we had UEFA Champions League. It's so loud, qualifying for that tournament speaks so loudly that you literally do not have to convince many players, whether they are in the UEFA or not. The moment you are in the UEFA Champions League, the moment you have that thing on your badge next season, it's okay. You're gonna convince. But with Saka, lads, I don't want to scare you, and I do not mean to scare you. But the reports keep claiming that Arsenal will have to do a lot of work. We'll have to do a lot of work to keep him this season. However, the player wants to stay. There is no question about that. He wants to stay at Arsenal Football Club. There is no question. But his camp is also thinking, right? His camp is also thinking about moving elsewhere where Champions League football is available. Do me a huge favor, hit the like button. We are at 40 likes. Let's get that to 60 likes. Please make sure you hit the like button. 100 people watching, massively appreciated for, I'm massively appreciating the love. So Saka, I think he will stay. Gabi Martinelli, I think he will stay as well. Yeah, I think Martinelli will stay. I think Saka will stay, but it might need a little bit of a raise. It might need Arsenal to raise, the bar somehow, right? And don't get me wrong, and I hope I'm right. Marquinos, Marcus Vinicius Oliveira, who is signing in from Sao Paulo, is not a replacement of Nicola Pepe, and is not a replacement of Saka or Martinelli. All these players, according to reports I have from Charlie Watts and the other journalists, Arsenal want all these players to stay at the club. That is final. Our priority is to keep all the best performers, like Mikel Arteta said. However, he also did talk about one thing, earlier in his press conference, and he said he was asked whether at times you could let players go out of the project, especially starters. And he said, look, at times you want to keep all the players, but at times you cannot offer them what other clubs are offering them. And that is the only time I've ever felt like Arsenal need to be careful. Arsenal fans need to be careful. When it comes to Saka and Martinelli and the likes, because Mikel said you want to keep everyone, but at times you cannot offer them what other clubs what other clubs are offering them. And that for me literally meant that if Arsenal reach a point where we cannot keep Saka, we will cash in on him. Yeah, I think we'll cash in on him, right? But I don't want to scare you, and I don't want to get into that. At the moment, according to Fabrizio, the player is interested in the project. He sees the project as a successful one, as one that is that has a future, and he would love to keep with the project, right? His camp think if there is a chance to play UEFA Champions League football, then they will take up the chance. Where will that end? Me and you. Now, Nicola Pepe is another player that we need to talk about in this video. Reports are still claiming that Nicola Pepe, come next season, he will not be an Arsenal player. Arsenal are preparing a couple of contracts for a couple of players. They're trying to convince Eddie Nketiah to stay. I will touch on that as well. Nketiah's contract is ready. We are still trying to plead with him and probably please him to stay at the team. Mohamed El Neni's contract is also prepared, but there is no contract for Nicola Pepe. Now I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound very hypocritical, but I would keep Nicola Pepe, right? If you ask me, El Neni, Nketiah, Pepe, and Lacazette, keep only one. The only player I would keep is of those is Nicola Pepe. Now I think we are going back to the UEFA Europa League. Damn, we're going back to the UEFA Europa League. We've gone back, right? So you need the squad depth, in my opinion. Now Pepe is not a hard player to replace because you can sell him for around 25 million quid, and you can replace him with a player like Cody Gakpo, with a player like probably Richarlison or whoever is available on the market, right? So replacing Pepe is not a problem. There are options. But if Pepe is leaving, El Neni has to leave, Lacazette has to leave, and Eddie Nketiah has to leave as well. Because the point in letting Pepe go is that Pepe is not good enough, and he doesn't fit the standards that Arsenal want to put up. 100% I agree with that. But if Pepe is not good enough and it doesn't fit the standards, he has to go. So does Eddie Nketiah, so does Lacazette, and so does Mohamed El Neni. We cannot turn a blind eye to these guys because they played a few games very, very well. They need to leave as well. So Pepe's next destination, we have not yet received any concrete or confirmed bids. Sevilla is one of the clubs that are really interested in the man. AC Milan have been reported. A couple of clubs around Europe and around the Premier League, and also in the French League One. Marseille, I think, is one of the clubs that I would definitely talk about in the rest for Nicola Pepe. So Pepe, 25 million. I think I would take it. Because this is for me with Nicola Pepe. If you don't want his situation to be just as Lacazette's, just as Mesut Ozil's, just as these other players, because you don't want his contract to run down. You don't want to have a player whose contract has run down, another player whose contract has run down, so that they live on a free. You don't want that. We've already seen it that the manager has given up on him this season. How many times has he actually come on from the bench? Very little. How many times has he started for Arsenal? Very little, especially this year, since the beginning of 2022. So for me, Mikel has given up on Nicola Pepe. I had given up on Nicola Pepe a longer time ago, and I think although he turned out to be a Europa League specialist, the last time we were in the Europa League, he was really, really doing his thing in the Europa League. I do not know why, but he was doing his thing, playing that kind of free role as a forward, and I think he was really doing well. But it's high time we get some little money out of Nicola Pepe. I don't think it's a big future. I don't think he has a big future with this big Arsenal project or young Arsenal project, to be sure. So Pepe can go. Mohamed El Neni is in negotiations with Arsenal. contract on the table. He's ready to stay. He has already told his representatives that if Arsenal want me to stay, nothing will stop me. And in my opinion, lads, I don't want to be cruel. I don't want to be harsh. Elneny has done enough. Elneny has done enough, right? That midfield pairing of Mohamed Elneny and Granit Xhaka, or Elneny and whoever, only works for a given period of time. He's just a good player. He's just a good man. If Arsenal want to keep him, I might not have a problem. I might not be 100% against the idea of keeping Mohamed Elneny, but the point should be that we keep him, but we bring in someone who is a little bit more reliable, right? I think Albert Sambi Lokonga is going to develop into a good player. Probably next season, but one. I think he has the potential and everything to do that. But as we wait for Konga, right, who's gonna get more game time in the Europa League, and I'm telling you, he's gonna prove many people wrong. Who said, "Oh, Lokonga is not good enough." He's gonna prove very, very many people wrong. We should bring in someone. Boubacar Kamara is available on a free, and I'll say it again. Boubacar Kamara is available on a free. A player who can give you, a player who you can play alongside Albert Sambi Lokonga in the Europa League as they develop, as Kamara waits to, either back up Thomas Partey or come in when Thomas Partey, probably goes injured or needs to rest. And also Kamara, a player that I think can play alongside Thomas Partey if you have a one Athamelo or a one Tielemans or a one Granit Xhaka injured or needs rotation. So he's one player that I'm really, really looking forward to, Boubacar Kamara, and I want to see what's going to happen with him. Look, I won't be surprised if he ends up at a club like Marseille, sorry, not Marseille, because he's coming from Marseille, like Seville or AC Milan, or any other clubs, because he's one of those players that I think he's got the potential to sit in well in a mid-table team. Like if West Ham wanted him, I think he would do a very, very good job for West Ham. But also, he's got the ability to sit in very well in a high-class midfield. Probably not yet at the level of Eduardo Camavinga, but I would definitely say that if he went to Madrid, he would give Camavinga a run for his money. And that is what we want for in Arsenal. We want someone who comes in, and we are sure that if Partey goes away, we are not going to bottle the top four race. Because that's what happened. The moment Partey got an excuse, not an excuse really, but the moment he was excused out of the team because of injury, it was gone. It was absolutely gone. And you cannot afford to do that. 58 likes. Thanks everybody for doing that. Hit the like button for me. We are only 2 more likes away from 60. So let's get those 2 likes in. So Kamara, for me, lads, is an option. I will talk about Boubacar Kamara a lot on this channel until his move, until he goes somewhere else. But I'll talk about Boubacar Kamara a lot, because I feel if Arsenal need options, especially in terms of squad depth, you need to go for the cheaper ones, but they have to be smart. Kamara is a smart signing. I thought Zakaria would have been a very smart signing, and he was a smart signing for Juve. But I also feel if Arsenal had got Dennis Zakaria, it would be different. It would have been very different, because what Zakaria does is that he allows Xhaka to go in that advanced position, and Zakaria can be a best, can be the best of that, in that 3-1. 3-1 formation, and the rest of the players go forward. He gives them the freedom, but then he also has that drive about around him. If you've seen him a few times playing for Juve, he's one of the players that actually play deep but get themselves into the penalty area lots of the time. And of course, he's a very, very versatile man. I think he's got that kind of unique kind of energy that I didn't see at first when he was playing for Switzerland, because with Switzerland, it's it's more of tournament football, right? So tournament football is a little bit very slow. So he receives the ball and passes around. But when he's watching play in the league, when you watch him play in the Italian Serie A, which I think has actually been, I think the quality of football in the Italian Serie A has improved a little bit. I've watched AC Milan, I've watched Inter Milan a lot, I've watched Napoli a lot, and Juve this season, and Atalanta as well. I think the quality of football has improved a little bit. So, but anyway, the point, lads, is that do not keep Mohamed Elneny, and if you're gonna keep him for another 1 year. Keep him for another 1 year, but bring in someone. The games are gonna be many more. This is not a season where we're gonna be having only Premier League football. It's a season where we're gonna be playing Ladies' Night on Thursday, and then we'll have to play on Sunday as well, right? Saturday we have to play Thursday, Sunday, right? So 2 days to rest. And I mean, the beauty with the Europa League football is that in the group stages you get these very, very easy opponents. You're gonna get Bodo Glimt, and whichever. But of course you have the traveling in there, right? Traveling to and fro. So it could so happen that you have an away game on Thursday, and then you come back on Sunday, and you also have an away game, right? So it's going to be a lot of game time, and it's going to be a lot of moving around and working. So we need options. If Partey is getting injured with only the Premier League, boy, we are going to have the Europa League as well. So you need a solid cover. Boubacar Kamara would be one of them. David Bissouma would be the other. Wilfred Ndidi would be the other. But Ndidi is not reliable. His injury record is not reliable. But if you look at players who are defensively able in terms of the best number 6 in the world in the Premier League, winning tackles and duels, he's one of them. He's one of the best. He's winning 3.5 tackles per 90. Despite the fact that he's injured, no other player is actually beating him at that. So for me, Elneny's contract is there, but for me, I would let him go. Edin Ketia, there is that kind of euphoria around Edin Ketia that shouldn't be there, right? So the euphoria around Edin Ketia should not be there. I don't think we need to be excited about Eddie. I'm 100% positive. We shouldn't be excited about Edin Ketia. No. With Edin Ketia, it's a hard decision, but not hard because he's a great footballer. It is a hard decision because he's a product of Arsenal Football Club. And for me, that should be easy. That should be so easy. You want 2 forwards in the summer. Nketiah is crying for game time. I do not think we should tie our Europa League success, because this time, more than any other time, I want Arsenal to win that Europa League thing. I want us to go in there. We've gone there. We've embarrassed ourselves. Let's go in there and win it. I don't care who is gonna qualify. I don't care if there is Dortmund. I don't care if there is Napoli, AC Milan, Inter Milan. I do not care who drops into the Europa League from the Champions League. Get to win that thing. For Christ's sake, it is only the round of 32, the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final. Those are 5 rounds. Find a way, sort your feet out, find a way, and win that thing, right? Honestly. And I don't want Edin Ketia to be the man leading us to Europa League victory. No, absolutely not. There are so many players already that I do not trust in this team that are coming in. The first one is Matt Turner. I don't trust Matt Turner 100%. I mean, we'll see what he has to offer. But then remember that Matt Turner could be our Europa League goalkeeper, right? So we need a serious striker and a serious striker backup. That is where I would say go and get in DCL and also get in Gabriel Jesus, because those two, you're sure that DCL will do a good job in the Europa League, score almost in every game, and you get through the the round of 32 and round of 16 semifinals. Gabriel Jesus quarterfinals, Gabriel Jesus and the final. We have to win the Europa League next season. I'm telling you, lads, I'm backing Arsenal to win the Europa League next season. I don't know who we are going to play against, but since we've qualified for it, we've got to win it. So the contract situations, that is it. Lacazette will be leaving. There is no new update around Alexander Lacazette. The last one I'll talk about is Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, Juventus have told Arsenal they can have Arthur Melo. And I'll say that again. Juventus have told Arsenal they can have Arthur Melo. However, the condition that I've seen, and this is from Tutorsport, the condition that has been set by Juventus is that Arsenal will have to include Gabriel Magalhaes in the contract negotiations. Of course, Juve are interested in Gabriel Magalhaes. They are fearful that they might lose Matthias de Ligt, and of course you have that aging backline, Bonucci, Cellini. They're really aging, so they're looking at a few other options. Milan Skriniar will be staying at Inter Milan. They cannot have him. They were looking at Steven Botman. Botman has joined AC Milan. That should be confirmed as soon as the season ends. So they're looking at Gabriel Magalhaes. They have, at first it was reported by Gianluca Di Marzio, and I thought this could be some kind of joke, but it's not a joke. It's not a joke. They are desperately interested in him. We are 2 more likes away from 70. Thanks everybody for hitting that like button. Let's get those 2 likes in. Hit the like button. Let's get those 2 likes in. Let's hit that 70. Massively appreciated, you people. It's a warm welcome. It's a very, very warm welcome. And of course, now chance for you guys to get involved in the comment section. Edson, hi Cossy, welcome back. And we had missed your updates. Thank you so much, Edson. I'm back. And everything, everything is gonna come your way, right? I'll do a couple of uploads to make sure that you don't miss anything. General says they should all go. Honestly, that's the truth. All these players, all this deadwood has to clear out. There's no question. And don't care for me. I don't care whether these players have been loyal to Arsenal. Look, one of the reasons for me that teams like Liverpool and Man City are very successful, it's not because they spend a lot of money. They do spend a lot of money, but they also have that ruthless approach to football and all footballing aspects. Eliakim Mangala, who remembers Eliakim Mangala at City? Where is he now? Right? Where are you now? Joe Hart, where is he now? So, as Arsenal fans, as Arsenal as a club, we need to learn to let go. At times these players, very good, and they are doing very, very well. But we need to learn to let go. We need to learn to let go. We need to learn that not all the time. We need to know that not all the time. These players are going to be part of the of the picture for the greater good. Like, if I brought in Cody Gakpo, I would release Nketiah. Gabriel Jesus, I would release Lacazette. I would release Elneny and bring in Yves Bissouma. I would release Xhaka and bring in Arthur Melo. Actually, why I like Melo, I'll compare Melo and Tielemans. Why I like Arthur Melo, Melo has got that defensive awareness. I love him. The only problem with Yuri Tielemans is that he lacks the defensive awareness. But Tielemans offers more in the final third than Arthur Melo. But I really love Arthur Melo, because that means a manager like Mikel Arteta will not need to be frightened, because of course for him he needs to play. The first option for Mikel, he wants to play it safe. So Mikel does not then have to worry about the defensive liabilities of Tielemans if he has a player like Arthur Melo. But we just need to keep on cleaning the squad, right? I don't care. Listen, let me tell you, I would not care if Arsenal sold Saka for 100 million, like Villa did with Grealish. I wouldn't care. You know why? If that money is going to get reinvested in the squad, for example, we're selling for 100 million, and we get 70 million and bring in Moussa Diaby from okay, not Moussa Diaby, but we get 70 million and bring in Jared Bowen from West Ham. I wouldn't really care. I'm sorry. This sounds harsh. I wouldn't really care. And I think Jared Bowen has more to offer than Bukayo Saka. He would have lots to offer than Bukayo Saka. So 100 million for Saka, whoever wants him, 100 million for Saka. I get my 70, I spend it on Jared Bowen. I get my 30, and I spend it on Yavis Bissouma, right? 30 on Bissouma, 70 on Jared Bowen. That is smart. That is absolutely smart. It's what Dortmund do. They have let go of Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland in the past 2 transfer summers. And you know what they've done? They've gone and brought in Karim Adeyemi. For me, Karim Adeyemi, if he maximizes his potential, because transfers are always gamble, he will give them exactly. He will exactly give them what Jadon Sancho gave them. That is it, right? At times you need to take the gamble. So all these Deadwood lads, for me, like you said, they need to go. We should retain Eddie. That's according to Moses. Not in my opinion. Moses. Someone says, we'll come back. Are we signing Jesus? Okay, let me give you an update on that as well. How are you doing, Jack? Hope you're doing well. I'm back, my guy. How are you? I'm also good. Calls. Basil says, yeah, Cossy here in Uganda. We love you and your podcast. So thank you so much. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the love. Let's hit the like button, people. That one massively helps the channel. Since we've been away, some people will not be able to find it, but if you hit the like button, many people will be able to refine their way to the channel. And we are very close to, this is crazy. We are very close to 80 likes. We are only 3 likes away from hitting 80. So make sure you hit the like button. 80. 3 likes to get to 80. 3 people to hit the like button for us, and everything will be fine. Sorry for your loss. I mean, I just need to tighten up my security, honestly. Oh, sorry, bro, but that's life. Everything happens with a reason. Okay, thanks everybody for those lovely messages. I have heard about Memphis Depay to Arsenal, Cossy. Look, I've told you, Kalim, I'm going to be doing lots of videos so that we cover everything that we've not covered, right? I'm going to work hard so that by the time we end this month, I've covered everything in this month. We get into June and we talk pure transfers. But let me react to those 2 last comments first. Let's start off with Gabriel Jesus. So the Sun, I mean, forgive me because they're the source that published this. The Sun, straight after we lost to Newcastle, the Sun came out and said that Gabriel Jesus is still interested in joining Arsenal. Arsenal are planning their initial bid. We have already made initial contacts with Manchester City. However, the player would also be very open to playing with champions and playing with a club in the UEFA Champions League. A deal is going to be a little bit more complicated than it would have been if Arsenal had qualified for the UEFA Champions League. Now, that's it. The second story about Memphis Depay, yes, you're right. Arsenal did ask for information around Memphis Depay, who is believed to be one of the players Barcelona are going to sell in the summer in order to raise funds to buy a new minerals. They're talking about Frankie de Jong leaving. They're talking about Memphis Depay leaving. They're talking about Samuel Umtiti leaving, and Samuel Umtiti and Memphis Depay have both been linked with Arsenal. And also from Spain, another veteran in Eden Hazard has also been linked with Arsenal. And this is my opinion about those three. Samuel Umtiti, no. Samuel Umtiti, no. No. Please, no. Memphis Depay, 2-year contract with with reasonable wages. 2-year contract with reasonable wages. Yes. Eden Hazard, I don't know. My thoughts about Eden Hazard, at times I tend to fall into the nostalgic basket, but I'm gonna stand my ground and say Eden Hazard, let's stay away from him. Honestly, lads, is it so hard to stay away from trouble as Arsenal? Is it so hard to stay away from trouble? It's not very hard. So please and please, let's stay away from Eden Hazard. But with Memphis Depay, I'll take him. One is that he would come in as a cheap option to Nicola Pepe, or a cheap replacement to Nicola Pepe, a player who I think will be leaving. So if you do not want to replace Nicola Pepe, right away, or you don't, because I think with Pepe, you're not going to get in a 70 million signing to replace him. You would go for a Memphis Depay. And I think Memphis Depay, if you go to the Europa League, he's one of those players that can create magic, because Europa League is a cup of magic. At times at times you're gonna need at times you're gonna need lots of magic, like lots of magic to be performed in the Europa League. I think as a squad player at Arsenal, he would do very good. But also there are those times where Arsenal failed to to break down the opponent, like Burnley, like the 0-0 Burnley game. Like, we failed to break down the opponent, and you need someone who can shoot outside the box, but with that kind of accuracy, the Alexis Sanchez type. I think Memphis Depay has that, right? So Memphis Depay, 2-year contract, probably with an option to extend if he does well, right? Probably with an option to extend if he does well. Depay would be okay, but on a reasonable wage, right? On a reasonable wage. Pepe out, Depay in, probably I would do that. Probably I would do that. But Hazard and Umtiti, no, please, no. We are at 86 likes, 4 more away from 90. Thank you so much for doing that. Massively, I do appreciate that. We need a great striker. That's according to Mahad. And Ibrahim says box-to-box midfield is also needed. And Ibrahim says, I just need House Samoa. Give me a minute. I'm going to speak something. Give me a minute. I need to remember. Okay. House Samoa has been linked with Leicester City. And Yuri Tillemans has been closely linked with Arsenal. However, the Yuri Tillemans deal is now in absolute jeopardy as well, because Arsenal are not having Champions League. So, but it is being suggested that House Samoa could move to Leicester, and then Yuri Tillemans moves to Arsenal. That is the point. That is it. But look, for me, I did fight off a lot of ignorance on the podcast last summer when we were talking about House Samoa, and I said House Samoa is a great player, great player. You cannot convince me otherwise. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna tell me? That what? He's a great player, nothing more, nothing less, right? It's a great talent, nothing more, nothing less. So without Samoa, he will be available. I'm not. I'm certain he will be available, but the pricing might not be as low as it were last summer, because this season he has actually improved a little bit. Let's look at some. Let me read you some of the statistics of the player this season, and you're going to wonder. Let's try to actually last season as well. He didn't have a very very poor season. Last season he didn't have a very poor season. Just that many people had actually, I think many people had just grown a bias. He's only 23 years of age, right? And one thing you get with Hausamoa is a consistent player and a reliable one. Listen, he averages at least 30 games per campaign. That is good. At least 30 games per campaign. This season, 5 goals, 4 assists. Last season, 7 goals, 3 assists. Actually, last season, 2021, he played only 30 games. He played 5 games less as compared to this. And the season before that, 3 goals, 4 assists. The season before that, 7 goals, 7 assists. So he's one player that is going to always have at least 5 goals in a campaign and at least 5 assists in a campaign if you get him to play in your midfield. And the other thing that I love about him, I don't know if many people will agree with me, is that it's kind of very versatile. I don't know if people have realized that. Like when you this season, there was a time when he played in that Lyon lineup among the front three. Like you see Martinelli, Saka, and Nketiah, and he was playing on the left hand side of on the left wing, right? Of course, that is because Bruno Guimaraes and Lucas Paqueta had occupied his role in midfield. Paqueta as the number 10, and then Bruno Guimaraes as the 6. So literally, he had to move and stretch high up the pitch. So for me, Hausamoa is a very good player. I mean, many Arsenal fans are tired of the story, and I don't think I'll run it when it comes. I'm telling you, we need a striker. There's no question about that. We need a box-to-box midfielder. Look, we need another party. We need another Thomas Partey. That is that is the truth. We need another Thomas Partey. Okay. Copper reacts, right? He asked me and said, what do you think about Arteta? Do you think he should stay or go? Now, this is my reaction. This is my honest opinion. I'm a very, very strong I was a very, very strong Mikel Arteta out guy. And you remember when we used to lose a game, I would be very, very fuming. And what shows you that I've moved on from that phase is the fact that when you look at the last 2 games that we've lost, I think Arteta has some part to blame. He takes some of the blame. But the reason as to why I didn't shout Mikel Arteta out is because of the achievements he has got. Do I want him to stay? Yes. Do I want him to go? No. I want him to stay. Because if he goes away, it will not expose the Cronkies than if he stays. If he stays, the Cronkies have always been, when it was very, very close to going to the UEFA Champions League, the Cronkies came out and they started barking like timid dogs, right? They started barking, we will spend. We're going to give him money, we will spend. Because it was close to going back to the UEFA Champions League, and they thought that they are going to get Champions League money. Now it is good that he's not going to get them the UEFA Champions League money. There is no UEFA Champions League money. So let us see. When he stays and they don't back him, they're exposed. They get for me, him staying exposes the true character and the true intentions of the Cronkies. Are they after all this yapping they've been doing? Is it about Champions League money? Because we're very close to Champions League money. Is it because of that? Or are they serious about this project? And then the other thing why I want him to stay is this team, there are managers that find a team on bare bones. But the truth is that this Arsenal team was not on bare bones, because this Arsenal squad was on bare bones by the time Arsene Wenger left. So when Mikel came in, we were not on bare bones. We were, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we were, but we were not on bare bones. We were in a worse situation. We were in a worse situation than that, right? So when he came in, and I think Unai Emery did not do us any favors during his time at Arsenal. If you look at the signings he's made and everything, although he didn't actually get some of the players he was asking for, but he didn't do us, his period, not him as a manager, but his period did not do us any favors in terms of reigniting and sparking life back into this Arsenal side. So Mikel comes in and he has a lot of work to do, right? In terms of correcting the mistakes that had been done by Unai Emery and Arsene Wenger. Because what Unai Emery had done, he wanted to polish the Arsene Wenger era and the Arsene Wenger squad and win with it. What Mikel came in and realized was we cannot win we cannot have a couple of deadwood, very, very soft material below as a foundation. We need to rebuild. We need to do everything. And in the process of doing that, I also have to make sure that I do not get relegated. I also have to make sure that I don't become a team finishing below, below, the top four. And he's been trying to do that this season, although it has failed. The past 2 seasons, the first season, I will excuse that. And no, everyone should excuse that, because the first season, which was half season, by the way, things had been messed up. There was a lot of player power in the dressing rooms. There's a lot of disunity and everything. And everything was wrong. His first full season in charge. Those are not the signings you get when you want to rebuild a team, right? You do not get Gabriel Magalhaes and Thomas Partey only, and you think you're gonna make it, okay? So this season, when he got more signings, he's improved from 8th to 5th. So if we back him, that is what I want. If we back him, can he cross over the line, right? Don't mind what the rival fans are saying. If we back him, can he cross over the line, right? That's the question. Look, by December next year, by December this year, if Arsenal are not showing any signs of progress and he has been backed, to hell with a new contract, get him out, right? Get him out. So he needs to keep on showing the progress. The progress is there, right? Defensively, we are conceding many goals, but you can see that there is some kind of order and leadership, and that's what we want. Offensively, offensive-wise, you can also see that Arsenal are a little bit sharp, but they need quality players up front. Let's give him the materials, let's give him the minerals, and let's see how he works with them. Because in his managerial career, there are things he has not seen. He's not, for example, if Arsenal signed Mbappe now, how does he manage Mbappe? He has not worked with these big names yet. He has not managed the big names, apart from throwing Mesut Ozil out of the team and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. But of course, you cannot keep up. Big names, big players have big egos. You can look at Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is, I think PSG are trying to give him 100 million to sign, and then they want to give him 50 million per year, right? So egos are always going to be in the team. How do you deal with them? But again, in my opinion, lads, I don't want to be very cruel. I'll give him some time. I'll give him some time. Hit the like button for me. Thanks everybody. 100 likes. We are there. We've hit 100 likes. Okay. Cossy, that squad is sacking, bro. Okay. Thank you so much, Julius. Real. Cossy, if Lokonga has got enough playing time, he's gonna be better than Xhaka and Aonani. Look, thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much, Eric, because you point in the direction that I would point all day. Yeah, you point in the direction that I'll point all day. Albesambe Lokonga, at times, why I don't want to be very harsh on Nuno Tavares is that these players are coming to this Arsenal side not as they're not coming in as they're not coming in they're not coming in as senior players. They're coming in as young players who are excited to learn. Okay, let me tell you, if Albert Lokonga was sitting on the bench, and on the pitch was Patrick Vieira, would have a very, very different man. If Albert Lokonga was sitting on the bench and he's looking he's looking on the pitch, and on the pitch you have having probably Makelele, right? You'd have a very different player. But El Neni and Xhaka are not inspirations. They're not. Actually, in any case, I think Albert Lokonga is a direct threat and competition to these guys. But is Lokonga a direct threat to? Would he be a direct threat to Lodri, Fernandinho, or Yaya Toure at the moment? No. So Lokonga is going to develop slowly. His game is is sure. His game is sure, right? He's one player that knows how to how to control, knows how to tackle. He just needs for me to add, he plays more like this. Try to harden up, bro. Try to stiffen up, right? You're a midfielder. You're about to win midfield tackles, and you're playing in an Arsenal system that is going to expose you all the time as a single pivot. So you need to be stiff. Your brain needs to be working, and your concentration needs to be on 100%. And you need to be, you need to know that anytime you're gonna receive the ball and anytime you're gonna pass the ball, and after doing that, all the time you have to be, you have to be sure that when you receive the ball, you are ready to to make that move, to pass it to the next player and everything and everything like that. But I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's gonna turn into a great man, a great lad. We disagree with my lads on this one a lot. Cossy, that squad is shocking. Okay. What do you think about Xhaka's words? Now, I was supposed to do a video about that. Apparently, it's been a tough time. It's been a very, very tough time for me, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. When you lose, when your equipment is stolen, and you get disturbed. But Xhaka came out and said that all of the players who played in that Newcastle game were not supposed to step, foot in, on the pitch, and he was absolutely right. And he said that whoever player felt that they were not ready for that game, they should have not come closer to the game. They should have stayed on the bench or at home in bed. He was absolutely right. And I remember I talked about something like that. I talked about it because look, that is one of the times when we were on the same page with Xhaka. Congratulations, Xhaka, bro. We were on the same side for some, for once. Honestly, that performance, it's inexcusable. Let me give you an example. Oh, thank you. Thank you for bringing this up today. Because you brought this up today, a day after, the morning after, Everton, who are in exactly the same situation like we were, overturned a result against a very competent Crystal Palace. 2 goals down, it ended 3-2. That is what Arsenal needed in that game. That character. And I was watching my favorite YouTuber, James Lawrence Salcott, and he was saying that with Everton, the greatest advantage they could ever have was to go down 2-0, was to go 2-0 down in that game, because at that moment you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. When you go down in a game that you need so much, you have nothing to lose. So you have to throw everything at it. And that's what Everton did. Their strategy was, okay, now we are tired of it. We are tired. We are not losing anymore. Come what may, we are not losing anymore. We are not losing this, games anymore. We are not losing this game. We are not losing this game. And that's what Xhaka was talking about. That if you're not ready to come onto the pitch and have the mentality that I'm not losing this game, we are not losing anymore, fuck off and go home. Go to bed. It's okay. Go to bed. You're not ready. Go to bed. You do not say you're not ready and then you step foot on the pitch. You don't do that. You don't do that. Thank you so much. It's a great point. It's a great point. And I'm telling you, Granit Xhaka was spot on. And I still remember I said this in the reaction. The only player who was ready for that game was Aaron Ramsdale. There was no other player. The only player who was ready for that game was Aaron Ramsdale. The rest of them, no. The rest of them, no. Now, I totally disagree with Troops, and Cathy Shaw, who came out and said Ben White is overpaid shit. Like we paid 50 million for a Joy Watt SX Watt box and things like that. And Troops said literally said he's shit. No, Ben White is one of our best defenders, and actually is one of the best players we've had this season. But when Arsenal players look for who to blame, and they failed fine because everyone has been shit, they will turn to Ben White because Ben White conceded an own goal. That's it. And one thing I don't want to, do is attack fellow YouTubers, because I love my Arsenal community, especially my fellow YouTubers. But why has no one ever spoken about Ben White when we are winning games? 15 games in a row unbeaten, 10 games in a row unbeaten, 5 games in a row unbeaten. Why no one talks about Ben White being shit? And when we lose, because our front players are pressing, because our midfielders Xhaka and Nene have become anonymous, we go on to Ben White. I loved Xhaka's words, but they also get to him. But for me, it's not Xhaka, lads. It's not Xhaka. It's not these young players. These young players are not, they're not supposed to be, holding this pressure. They're not. It's not their problem, right? We are focusing on the wrong guys. The wrong guys here are the owners. The wrong guys are the guys who allowed Alexis Sanchez walk. The wrong guys are the guys who allowed our midfielders, from Samuel Nasri, from Cesc Fabregas to Jack Wilshere to Ramsey, to work, and they were never replaced well. Those are the wrong guys. Those are the guys that should not come close to that game. Those are the guys that should be in their bed and should not dare say a word. Right? But anyway, Xhaka's words were, for me, were real. Absolutely. They were absolutely real. Okay, 100 likes. Okay. Thank you so much, Glenn. 10 more likes to get to 110. Thank you so much. Rokani says, I believe there is a player in Tavares and Lokonga. Thank you so much, my man. By the way, guys, just to let you know, that guy, Rokani, is a real lad. He's a real lad. So thank you so much, bro, for all the support down through the years, and I'm so grateful, my man. So grateful. I don't trust Gabriel Jesus to lead. I would keep Eddie instead. No, come on, King Goldie. Come on, King Goldie. This is not a debate we should have at the moment. No, it's not a debate we should have at the moment. Also, Gabriel Magalhaes is reliable. Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's so reliable. I think it's very, very reliable. But for me, the first thing with the centre back is you must be able to complement your other half, and I think Gabriel Magalhaes does it very well. Because for me, Ben White, despite the fact that statistically he's been good, but the fact that he loves, going forward, he's always going to be, caught out of position many times, and that is what Gabi does. It just comes in and covers. It just comes in and covers. Actually, I think I would love Gabriel Magalhaes to do less, just like Virgil van Dijk, like to be that rock in defense when balls are brought in. Just sweep them out into for a throw in. Just turn them into a corner. Just block off defenders. Just block off strikers. That's what I want him to do. And then the rest of the work that is done by Konate and also done by Joel Matip can be done by Ben White, because Ben White has great bowling abilities. Great bowling abilities. Yeah. So he's reliable. Honestly, he is reliable. Ona says Gabriel Jesus is better than Eddie Nketiah. Cossy, are you sure is Marquinos signing? If you sign, what will he add to the team? All right. Brilliant question. Am I sure? 100%. Okay. Let me do this. So we'll have to get this back to where we got it from, so that we can read. Right. There we are. So that is the story. If you've not seen it, Arsenal are set to complete their first signing of the summer as they close in on a move for Marquinos. The 19-year-old flew into England on a Thursday and visited the club's London Colney training centre to put finishing touches on the deal, and will undergo a medical very, very soon, according to the reliable Charles Watts. So there is nothing for you guys to be afraid of. I promise that I will bring you the latest and true news, well-sourced stories around Arsenal. Don't be afraid, in that regard. So I'm 100% sure. So the question is, what will he add to the team? Now, I'm going to be a little bit ashamed to say this, that squad depth. I understand. You said what did he say? Did he just tell us about squad depth when we need quality in the 11? Yeah, it's squad depth. At the moment, it is squad depth. But I promise that his signing will also not affect Arsenal's summer. So it's not one signing that Arsenal are going to embark on and feel proud. But we are going to bring in also other players. What he brings to the team, he plays just like Bukayo Saka, so you'd have another copy of Bukayo Saka in your team. Wouldn't you love another copy of Bukayo Saka? But I think for me, because with Saka, he's still developing. Of course, we don't know where by 22-23. Is one of the players that I would really want to see. What is he going to become at 22-23? That is Bukayo Saka, but and Martinelli and the likes of Smith Rowe, but Saka in particular. But with Marquinos, even before 23, I think he's got a lot to offer as a Brazilian. I think he's got a lot to offer in terms of the skill set, and also in terms of how to get into the penalty area. Because look, Saka has this trademark move where he gets the ball and then tries to cut inside and curl the ball to the far post. That is his trademark. But he can easily be found out by defenders, and if they don't allow him to do that, the next thing he will be relying on are those short passes, short interchangeable passes between him and Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe, and also the number 10, which actually work very well. The one thing I love about the Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola system is that a player doesn't need to be very good individually. You always play as a team. You always play in triangles, right? So and of course in positional play, those triangles just help you to get, to create superiorities over over your opponents. So Saka can easily become one of the best footballers, not without even taking on players directly, but by making sure that he knows where his teammates are, plays those 1-2s, and then he's always through on goal. But with Marquinos, he's got that ability. He has a variety of options on how to get into the penalty area. He can beat you in more than one or two ways on a one-to-one, on a one-on-one. He can also play those interchangeable passes, but then he's also got this ability to literally run in behind at a very, very fast pace, and then all his mind is to go for goal. If you look at Saka, when he's running through on goal, he's thinking, who am I going to square it for? Marquinhos is kind of a very, very different player. So, but look, he's gonna be an Arsenal player, and we'll get to see. We'll get to see, definitely. Okay. Kalim says, why is it becoming a mountain wherever our players face physical opponents? Cossy. Now, the truth is that Arsenal players physically are not as demanding as they should be. You cannot play Edin Ketia against Virgil van Dijk. Not because Nketiah is small. It's one of the reasons. But then the other thing is that for example, Messi can beat Virgil van Dijk. He's beaten the likes of Boateng. If you cannot beat a player physically, you've got to turn the game, into the brain. It needs to become a brain game. And then the skills. So the problem is that players like Virgil van Dijk are very clever, are very strong, and they're very talented. They're very skilled. Look at Thiago Silva. That guy, my God, that guy is a beast. So how many players do have the capacity to beat Thiago Silva in that Arsenal, in that Arsenal, side? One, I'll say Martin Odegaard, because Odegaard is very, very clever, right? But Smith Rowe cannot beat Thiago Silva, because he's literally going to dribble, try to dribble past him, and you can't do that with Thiago. I think Martinelli can, because Martinelli has that extra miles, those extra miles per hour that a player like Thiago Silva does not have at the moment. And also Saka can, because Saka is a little bit fast and can be trickery, but or can perform the trickery and is a little bit tricky. But I don't think Saka, out of 5 challenges, Saka would win 2, and Silva would win 3. So we need to have either very, very, very very clever players, right? Or if not that, we need to have very players who are physically able. That's why I wanted Darwin Núñez. But it's not a point. Look at City. City players are not that physical, but look at the amount of goals they score. Look at the amount of chances they create. The likes of Phil Foden, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, right? Because we need to strengthen up. Our players need to strengthen up a little as well. Good afternoon to you, my man Arno, the regular, the best. The regular. What about the Saka extension? City wants him. We've talked about Saka, and we have said Saka wants to stay at Arsenal, but his camp would actually love to explore the possibility of a new of a Champions League deal. Because it's true. Is it true that if Liverpool win the Champions League, the team in the Premier League will qualify for Champions League? Cossy, is it true that if Liverpool win the Champions League, the team in the Premier League will qualify for the Champions League? Now, I don't get this. I've not got your question, but I'm going to say this, right? There are new changes and there are new recommendations that are being fronted by UEFA, and among those changes, which do not start any sooner, among those changes are that in the near future, a country whose teams have been performing very well will have 2 extra spots to the UEFA Champions League. For example, that means that the UK, if the UK have been doing very well in the past 10 years, that means that instead of taking 4 teams, the UK will be taking 6 teams. There is also suggestion that clubs, like what you call big clubs, big clubs also want to be given a free card to the UEFA Champions League, whether they have qualified or not. For example, like you see, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham are qualifying automatically. But Manchester United, because they have won the title 3 times and they have played a couple of finals, they have been really doing very well. They would be taken to the UEFA Champions League as through that card of a team that has been doing well in the competition, a big team that has been doing well in the competition. So, but those changes are not yet confirmed, as far as I know, and they will not start applying before 2024, 2025. Okay, so I hope I've answered that. Okay. If Liverpool win the Champions League, 5 English teams will represent England. Okay. But I think this doesn't start until 2024, 2025. I'm gonna do more research about it, but the information I have from Sky Cave, and Sky and Cave Soleco is that these changes would take some time to get to effect, right? They would really need some time. They would take some time. I don't think they're going to come. I don't think they're going to come in very, very early, unless otherwise. Cossy, is it true that Liverpool win the Champions League? The 5th team in the Premier League will qualify. Like I said, according to the information I've been following up on those changes very, very closely. And what I know is that all the changes that are being proposed will be starting 2024, 2025, when we get the new Champions League format. Because the Champions League at the moment is having this format where you have the group stages, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals. Now that is going to change. That format is going to change. More teams are going to be added to the UEFA Champions League, and there is also a possibility that we might not see the group stages, like we've been seeing, and then we could see the UEFA Champions League played in kind of a league format, where you have where you have a league of 10 teams that play against each other, home and away, and then you have another league like that. So literally, that is what's happening. But I do not know if those changes are going to run into effect before 2024, 2025. The information I have so far is that the changes do not start very, very early. Cossy, is true that Liverpool. Okay, I think I've answered that. Saiwo. I think I've answered that. Thanks everybody for joining me today. Hit the like button for me, massively appreciated. Let's get our video to 250 likes, because we are already at 100. So if whoever comes in to watch on playback, make sure you hit the like button for us, and we get the video to 250, because we've already got it to 110. Because we'll be signing out. See you.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say,